What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Christopher Beam with Tactical Advantage, and today we're going to look at leveraging the data I get within ACE Virtual Shooting and how I turn that into impactful practices.
BakerTargets.com is where I get the targets you see me shoot all the time on Active Self-Protection Extra. They ship fast, their prices are great, and they have all kinds of targets, both for competitive shooting, defensive shooting, and fun too. Check them out.
All right, folks, so here we are in ACE VR or ACE Virtual Shooting. And basically what I wanted to show you guys today is how I run a stage, gather the data from the stage, and let it kind of drive my practice or see where the deficiencies are. So I thought it would be interesting to bring you guys along for that. But the stage we're going to run is called The Choice Is Yours. It's designed by the Pedalorian, who's actually a user in ACE that I always see up on the leaderboards. But super interesting that the developers actually go to the community to find input to kind of create stages, create, different shooting problems. That's cool. But the reason I like this one so much is it's basically set up in a couple different arrays that require differing levels of confirmation, differing, wide, short transitions, a speed section over here. So basically I have section 1, section 2, section 3, then this steel, a mover, and these two poppers as section 4. And you just need a different approach with how aggressive you are and how much confirmation you need as you run through this. So we're going to go ahead and run one. I'll let you guys see the data that the platform delivers, and then we'll make some changes accordingly and see what happens. But this is basically how I do my practice sessions within ACE every day. Pick something I want to run, see what the data tells me, and then try and influence the work to get the desired result or whatever I'm looking for or trying to work on. So with that said, let's get started.
Stand by.
All right, so run 1 is in. All right, so we had a gold run with a hit factor of 7.69. So the total time for the stage was 17.56 and a total points of 135. So this number right here, the hit factor, is actually derived from your points divided by time. So that's really how this number comes about. And ACE actually groups these in a couple different categories: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and ace. And what that does, it roughly correlates to kind of what you would think of with like USPSA, like D class through Grandmaster or GM. I'm not going to go into the weeds about that because, it's not really my wheelhouse, but it's just something to think about. But let's go start taking a look at the data. As you can see, we have all sorts of split data and hit data. So really, let's look at this one. Hit 1 to this plate at a 1.56. Then our splits throughout the rest of the plate rack: 0.49, 0.48, 0.56, 0.48, 0.52. So we know we probably have a lot of low-hanging fruit on this guy. A 1.56 from ready really kind of drives how I engage the rest of the plate rack. So all of these splits are a little bit off my baseline. So we know we have some time there that we can get back. 77 split going from that to this target, which isn't bad. I'd like to see that kind of closer to 50 than 70, but that's not bad considering we're alpha'd. 1.46 to the small popper, 69 to the larger popper. Okay with that. This one, this is actually a swinger target. And we were 85 going from that target to this one. and then a 19 and a 26 split. So what you could see now, I called a Charlie, which I believe was that one right there. I called that as a Charlie, so I sent another shot, which was right there, but it wasn't alpha, so I wasted a little bit of time, 0.19 seconds, sending that other shot. However, I find in swingers, it makes more sense to me to just go ahead and be aggressive with my calls and send a couple more than just missing a call by nature of the movement of the swinger. 0.94, so it took me almost a second to go from that target right there to this target right here. And then a 27 split. Then it took me a 97 to go from that target to that target. So from the shooting area, that's a super quick transition, and yet it's taking me almost a second to come in and make that, even though we're alpha, 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 alpha. Let's take a peek over here. Took me almost a second to come over here, but that's another interesting data point. So to go from this target over into this target, almost a second, which that almost matches the transition from that to that, which is a much easier transition. We're also 0.76 to go from here to here, which that matched itself going from here to here with the 0.78 split. So we know, even though we got maximum points on the stage, it took us way too much time. And that's what's driving down this hit factor. So that tells me I can be a little more aggressive on my engagement times. And that should, as long as I don't give up too many points, that should improve our scores. So with this one, I'm going to try and have close to the same level of visual confirmation, but I'm just going to be more aggressive with moving the gun around. And let's see how that works for us. Let's
stand by.
give it a shot. All right. Okay, so we pulled off about 6 seconds or so off our time, let a few points go, nothing crazy, but a few points. So let's go look at our data now. Still well above a second on plate 1. But if you notice the rest of the plate rack, just trying to be a little more aggressive, we knocked about from 1/10 to 2/10 per plate, which yielded us a couple seconds right there. Drove this transition down to a 0.51 with the alpha alpha. The transitions over here were also improved. We sent 4 at this one because I called the Charlies, but my makeups were Charlies as well. Let me see. Alpha Charlie over here. Hit 11 coming into this at an 11. Oh no, a 36. Okay, and hit 11.36 split. I was like, dang, that was really good. Alpha Alpha 43 and a 20. I think if you look at this one, hit 11 was actually an aggressive swing in and a correction to hit 12. Alpha Alpha, Charlie Charlie, with a 47 coming in. So we reduced that transition by half from that target to this target. And then a 32 up to there, which that was again reduced by about half, and a 38 reduced by about half. So the time on this one I'm pretty happy with. We could have done a little bit better with our hits, but I'm not mad at it. So we're going to try and do one more with that same level of aggression, maybe just a little bit more confirmation. And I hope you guys can see my dot, because that's the point of this video, is you can kind of see the difference with the time and what the dot's doing to understand it's not just trying harder, it's trying to be more expedient while getting exactly what you need to see, no more, no less. So let's see, and hopefully we don't tank it, huh?
Stand by.
All right, so saw, I think, a little bit of improvement. That's down to 1071. We did still let go of some points. Some of that's over here on that target, and I couldn't time that one right because I was under movement. 99 still hit one, is problematic. 0.53 is coming to see. I should have alpha this one. So that's just being a little bit too aggressive moving into that target. This one would certainly prefer an alpha. Alpha Charlie, 34 in. Again, the splits into that. 11. A 34 going into that. Real happy with that. Alpha with a 39 and a 19. And then Alpha Charlie, Charlie, Alpha. So again, everything's kind of doing what we want it to. I just want to increase our scores just a little bit. So I need to go from points. I'm where I want to be with time. I just need to farm a little bit more from points. So one more time.
Stand by.
Oh no. I hit that no shoot, so I started going for it. So I probably got all sorts of problems over here. Look like I got a mic over here, a no shoot over there. That puts us back at a 902. However, the time, that was just going full send. So we can see all of the splits are just aggressive, however we paid for it. So we don't want to leave a session like that.
Stand by.
I got a little confused on that one. Back to diamond. I got a little confused on that makeup over there and going back in. So I'm not even going to go into the data, though hit one is much better. So all of these changes with aggression, I've got to go back into like a known kind of, okay, this is how I shoot. No anxiousness, no anything like that. To shoot the gun, move the gun with expedience and kind of get where you need to go without shooting no shoots or making mistakes.
Stand by.
Okay, that one. I really like the way that one felt from a timing perspective. Took a little bit of trouble on those two pieces of steel, and that gave us an 1150 and a 119. So last one. So we've got our aggression kind of kicked in. Our splits are kind of settled in. Our transitions are settled in, sub 1.5 or sub 0.5. We're just a little bit dirty. So last one. This one's for all the marbles. All right.
Stand by.
Okay. There we go. So there's an ace score. So that would be like a GM level score. Our time is 10.44 with 119 for points. So okay with that. Still giving points away, but we're making it up with time. So let's go take a look at this one. All right. So hit one now at a 0.65. much closer to where I want to be. 43, 36, 31, 34, 31. Going into this guy, 0.53 on that transition. So again, that level of aggression is working for us. 0.43, 1.05 on the poppers. Good. We're good over here. Again, that was, notice 2 mics because I was trying to run the edge and time it, let it come to me. So made it up with an Alpha Charlie. 69 to the popper. 36, again, holding that same level of aggression. 36 and a 20, Alpha Charlie. What do we got? 38 and a 21, Charlie Charlie. I would much prefer that be Alpha Charlie or Alpha Alpha, but that's okay. All right, so a 48 and an 18 and a 24. Oh no. Wow, really? Hit 17, hit 16. That was a 19 coming up and a 24. So hit 16 was actually going from here to here, which that's super solid for me. Super solid. And back to a 32 with a Alpha 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 Charlie. So really, the point of the video is to show you guys how much data this gives you and how it can inform how you run things and how you do things. And you can experiment basically without spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on ammunition, and then trying to calc results after the fact, because it'd be nearly impossible to get and collate all this data on a live fire range. So that's why I love doing this from a visual perspective, and then the data, and then really you have some gamification where you can see kind of where you stack up with people and how that looks. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope that was enjoyable, and I hope you kind of understood what I'm trying to show you, and why I really, 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 really value this platform. It's been super helpful to me. So I hope, if nothing else, being able to kind of see through my eyes as we're running through these arrays, you can actually learn some things about how the gun looks when you're running at speed, if that makes sense. So with that, I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.